International Affairs editor. Firstly, Philip, why are these talks being held in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think it's a sign that things have moved as far as the talks being held in Europe or in the United States. Saudi Arabia is seen as one of the big, important nations of the world right now due to the fact that it has oil. And that is something that Donald Trump is interested in. That's why he's trying to become more close with Saudi Arabia. It's playing more of an important role in the international front when it comes down to being a negotiator. And that's why these talks are taking place in Saudi Arabia and not elsewhere right now. And as you just said, Volodymyr Zelensky meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He's arrived in Saudi Arabia already. We're still waiting for Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, to arrive there, and also he's accompanied by the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. There are some bits of information coming out from them on board the flight. They're due to arrive at any moment in Saudi Arabia. First of all, saying they're hopeful of having a good meeting with the Ukrainian delegation and that they want to make progress, and they're confident of that as well. But they're quite keen to work out what concessions that Ukraine will make and also what concessions the Russians will make, which also is a shift away from what we've heard from the United States in recent times. That's to say that they haven't really been putting any pressure on the Russians, although last week Donald Trump did say that because of the constant pounding going on in Ukraine from Russian air attacks, that he was thinking about imposing fresh sanctions on the Russians. But that really has, as far as it's gone, as far as putting pressure on the Russian side is concerned.
Now, as we saw there, Zelensky is meeting with the Saudi leader. However, he's not taking part in the actual talks. Why is that the case?
Well, it's not because he doesn't want to. I think there's a lot of frustration on the part of Volodymyr Zelensky that he would like to be round the table there. The thing is that this was all basically organised at the visit by Volodymyr Zelensky before the bust-up in the Oval Office last week on Friday. And he was due to go to Saudi Arabia last month. That was delayed after the last round of talks, which took place between the Americans and the Russians, to which Ukraine was not invited, which caused a lot of international concern about the fact that Ukraine was being squeezed out of the discussions over a possible ceasefire deal with the Russians. So he delayed that trip to now. He's there today to meet Mohammed bin Salman, but that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be some influence by Volodymyr Zelensky as far as these peace discussions are taking place, because by the fact that he's talking to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia about the future for Ukraine, about the economy, about bilateral